wanted to congratulate you on the film. I got to see it last night and it was absolutely fantastic. And you were absolutely fantastic in it. So
Thank you.
just wanted to congratulate you about that.
Thank you so much.
First thing I wanted to say is this film had such a talented cast. You guys absolutely just killed it. What was that vibe like on set for you guys? And specifically, I wanted to ask you about the dynamic between you and Chris Rock's character.
The vibe on set was phenomenal. I loved being on set. It was definitely one of the more collaborative sets I've been on. And Chris and I got along great. I mean, I can speak for myself, but got along great. And in my opinion, that chemistry was there, and that history between our two characters was very real to me. And I loved that. And he was also extremely collaborative and very, humble, but knows what he wants and understands the structure of everything. And he was great. I love that partnership. We would make jokes of like, we're going to do the next Law and Order and it's going to be Zeke and Angie.
I think everyone would be all for that after seeing that film, because you guys had a great dynamic on screen. It was really, really good.
Thank you.
And I just wanted to ask you, this film is not straight up gore, which is, it's a horror film, but it's not straight up gore. You're not, it has the twists, it has the turns, it has the suspense edge of your seat that really leaves you just wanting more and more. So I have to ask you, what was your reaction when you first read the script?
When I first read the script, I went, this reminds me of the movie Seven, which is an insane compliment, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It reminded me of Seven.
Yeah.
And I couldn't help it. It just does. And it's it's a thriller. At the end of the day, it's a scary movie. It's a whodunit, and it's terrifying. And I love that genre. I love being scared. I love that thrill. I'm along for the ride. I'm with you. So I was like, oh God, I can't wait to be a part of this.
And this film obviously serves as the next chapter in the iconic Saw series. Were you a fan of those films before booking the role? Do you have any favorites? And what was it like joining this world?
I was a fan of the films. I definitely know the universe. It was I was actually okay joining the world until publicity started to come out. And then the Saw fans came out and I'm like, oh, wow, maybe I should have been more scared, because they're very specific, and they know this world so well, and they're like, well, I don't know how it's going to go. And well, let's see. Or, oh, I can't wait to see this. And I was like, wow, okay. All right. Well, I hope you like it. I love it. I think it's phenomenal. I think they're going to be happy and satisfied. And even those people that don't know the Saw universe, this is a great film, and I'm so glad it's in theaters. I'm so glad.
Yeah, exactly. I think everyone's going to be very excited and happy when they see it. It came out really, really good. And I loved your character. She's this tough as nails captain, and, you play this role so perfectly. I was curious, was that like fun to play that dynamic, boss everyone around and be the commander, do the orders? And were there any sort of challenges while preparing to take on this role?
I'll answer both those questions. So I like being a boss.
Yeah, you are a boss though. You play it so well.
Thank you. And I'm familiar a bit with law enforcement in that world. So creating that character, I was like, okay, no, I know this and I got this and I know this world and I can play within this. And I understood what she was after. So it was just so much fun to sink my teeth into that role. I mean, that's where I live and breathe. I'm like, let's go. The challenge, Chris Rock is very tall. I'm 5'3". So I have these giant heels underneath my pants that I can't make look like heels because she wouldn't wear heels. But I can't be yelling at Chris like up like this and yelling at all the guys. So I needed to be tall enough. Was probably the biggest challenge.
That's a fun fact too. I would have never.
Fun fact. You're the only one that knows that right now.
Well, one thing I have to say about you that I just truly admire is that so many of your roles are these strong female characters, and as a female viewer, it's inspiring, and I've seen you in multiple roles, and it's something I've noticed that, you know, is throughout. Is this something you sort of look for in a role?
Thank you. It's not that I go, oh, is she a strong character?
Yeah.
I just look at a thing and I go, do I understand her? Do I
Okay,
get
yeah.
her? Do I get it? Yes.
Yeah.
And then I bring my experience and my life and that character to life in whatever way.
Yeah.
But I don't like seeing females being weak. I don't like it. I think you can ask any man out there. I don't care how tough he is. If his wife, girlfriend, or mother starts to get mad at him, okay, I'm sorry, and I'm sorry,
Yeah.
and and there's a strength to that.
Yeah.
And I like that we are honoring that more and more in our business, and we need more and more. But I love that, and I love that you can show that strength as a woman without giving up the fact that you're a woman at all. I like that.
Anything you hope these characters you bring to life teach your fans?
Oh, yeah. I mean, if I'm always conscious of, especially especially on Riverdale and stuff like that, because it's a younger audience. I'm very conscious of that when you're younger or haven't had so much life experience, you judge things by what you see. And so if a character on TV did that and it worked out for them, maybe I should do that. That's the thinking. So I'm always aware of how that's going to come across, particularly I have a daughter, and so that's made me more aware of that responsibility. And so I hope that it teaches my fans that you can be a strong female, still be female, and stand up for yourself. I like that in whatever capacity. You don't have to it's just strength and compassion to me go together, and you can't have one without the other. So I hope that I hope to bring both of those things to the characters that I embody.
I could definitely say you do. I could definitely say, you know, as someone who watches your work, you definitely do. And, you know, one sort of thing that stood out to me about Angie is that so many films and TV in general, the captain is usually a male. So that was really refreshing to see. I just had to point that out because it was something I noticed and I loved it. I loved seeing, you know, a woman being in charge. We need more
You
of
know,
it.
that's a nod to the filmmakers
Yeah.
because it was originally written for a man.
Wow. Yep.
And then I got the role and they didn't change it. And so
Yes.
that's a huge shout out to Mark Berg and Oren and Chris, like huge shout out and grateful for that.
I love that. It proves a lot, honestly. If there's anything, you know, people need to do, writers behind the scenes, anything to sort of put females more in positions like that, you know, give them the stronger roles, give them the
Yeah.
leading roles.
That's a good question, but you usually see, in order to show a strong female,
Yeah.
you usually have to show her being like she becomes a victim first, and then she learns to grow, and then she can be
Yeah.
strong.
Yeah.
Or she could just be strong and have some strength.
Yep. Yep.
Like, we don't need to do that. It's okay, and it doesn't mean that a woman with strength is less feminine in any way. It's fine. You have both. And I mean, I don't mean to. I'm actually very grateful that it's changing. I feel it changing. I feel it changing for women. I feel it changing for Latinas,
I'm
for
Latina too, yep.
minorities. I see the difference. I've been in the business a long time. I know what roles I could audition for before, and I know what roles I can go for now. And I'm really happy with the change.
But it's an honor for me to be speaking to you. I'm Latina, so
Mhm.
it's you know, it's nice seeing someone that looks like me on screen that is taking these roles and playing these parts. So definitely I I agree with you. Hopefully the change is coming and you're definitely part of that.
Thank
So
you.
like I said, I saw the film and I wanted to see if you could sort of come up with any sort of phrase to describe the film's big twist without spoiling.
Oh yes, huh? Oh boy. Sucker punched.
Love that. That's a
Sucker
good
punched.
one.
It's a good one, right?
That's a
Like you
good
don't see it
one.
coming, and it's like,
Yeah,
whoa. So I'd say, yeah, it kind of sucker punches you.
that's a good one. Okay, perfect. And then obviously one of the biggest things in the Saw franchise is those traps. So if you could pick one phrase or word to describe the traps in these films, what would you pick?
I mean, how about nightmarish? They're nightmarish.
You're
Like
good
it'll
with the
satisfy
phrases.
everyone who's trying to get that. You'll get it. Don't worry. You got it.
You're good with the phrases. You picked
Thanks.
good. I love those. And I wanted to ask you, what are your personal favorite horror or thriller films? What do you throw on? What are your go-tos?
My go-to Exorcist is
Good one.
just always number one.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Probably it's hard because there's the old school like Amityville horrors and all of those. The Ring
Good
really
one.
creeps me out. So
Yeah.
that's probably number two. And then I think there's the Japanese film. It's called The Eye.
Yes.
You know
Yes.
that?
Yep. Creepy one.
It's a
Yep.
good one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are probably my top. They're good.
Yeah. And is there anything you sort of think sets Spiral apart from the other Saw films or just horror in general?
Yeah. I mean, I think obviously it sets it apart just because of the Chris Rock's take on it and the
Yeah.
cast that he brought together for it.
Yeah.
First of all, and then second of all, you're still giving all the Saw fans what they want and expect, but it's like you even said, there's more twists and turns and plot driven than I think we've seen so far, and I think it's a fun addition.
If there were any sort of memorable behind the scenes stories you could share.
Yeah, I flew out to Toronto to do one scene in the middle of shooting Riverdale with Samuel Jackson and Chris. And I was like, oh wow, okay, hi. Here we go. And on one of the lines, because it's Sam and I's dialogue, I jumped a line. And I was like, only because I was nervous, because I never forget lines. I'm always, I just always, I can memorize easily. But I was just nervous. So I jumped his line. And then he jumped back and we jumped around and I was like, oh, good. And then we cut and I was like, I'm so sorry. I jumped and he's like, it's all good. Let's do it again. That was great. And I loved it. And it was like, to me, when you're at the top of your game or you've been in this business a really long time, in any business, it's light and it's easy and you know what you're doing. And within that you can play. And I loved that. So I'd say that one.
Lastly, anything that sort of set this project aside for you, compared to your other projects?
Yeah, I get to play the captain. I get to play the boss.
Yes.
I love that. I really, really, really love that.
Yes.
And I'm so honored to work with Chris and Sam and Max in this film and to be part of the Saw universe. People are so enthusiastic about it. I'm just elated.
Well, thank you so, so much, Marisol, for taking the time to speak with me and the Nerds of Color. And it was my great pleasure. And congrats again on the film. I can't wait for the rest of the world to see it. And just thank you so much again.
Nice to meet you. Thank you so much.
Nice to meet you as well. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you too.